Hi everybody. Today's activity is going to be creating a snowball launcher. Now I can't promise that you're going to be able to actually launch a real snowball outside with this, but you're more than welcome to try. The materials you're going to need are a plastic cup, and yours might be a little bit bigger than mine, some tape. So I wouldn't use like regular Scotch tape, you need something a little more heavier and stronger, a plain balloon, and something to use as your snowballs, and some scissors. So I'm going to use cotton balls. You can use styrofoam balls if you have pom-poms. Maybe you have bounce balls you can use, a piece of paper balled up, anything along those lines that you can use as a snowball will work just fine. So the first thing you're going to do is take your cup and you're going to want to turn it upside down, and you're going to want to cut the bottom edge off, the bottom rim. So this might be a chance for you to ask, an older brother or sister or an adult, your mom or dad at home, to help you with that. The edges could get a little rough and it could be hard to kind of poke through here. So I already have one that's done, and I already cut the edge out, and it does get a little sharp. So please be careful that you don't hurt yourself with this, because those edges are a little bit sharp. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our balloon and we're going to tie a knot in the neck of it like this. Okay, and pull it tight. If you need help with that, ask someone at home. And then we're going to cut the end of the balloon off, not the end where the neck is. You want to cut at the other end. You're going to try and just cut the edge off because you want to be able to stretch that over the end of your cup that you cut off. So I might have to trim this. We'll see how well it works. Okay, just like that. Okay, so this is what it should look like. And then where you're going to take the edge of your cup and you're going to stretch the edge of the balloon over the open part of your cup. Now, it might be tight enough to hold it. Kind of looks like a hat. But I actually have some pieces of duct tape that I already cut, so I'm just going to line mine with it so that as I'm using it, it doesn't come off, just in case. So I'm going to press really firm around the edge until I go all the way around. So that way when I'm pulling on this, I don't accidentally pull it off, and then my launcher isn't going to be launching much of anything. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like for now. So now here comes your snowball launching fun. So here is your snowball launcher. So what you're going to do is place whatever item you're going to use as your snowball, put it on the inside. You're going to pull this back, and when you let go and release, hopefully your snowball will launch. So I'm going to hold it back a little further. Ooh, and it definitely worked pretty good. I might actually do 2 at a time there. See if you can, I'm going to shoot them up to you and see if that works. Oh, that didn't work. No, that didn't work so hot that time. Let's try it again. Oh, it definitely worked that time. So when you pull down on the knotted part, you're going to release it. The snowball or whatever you have inside here will fly out. So you can test different objects and you can measure and see how far they go. Will lighter objects travel further? Will heavier objects travel further? And the reason this works is because of Isaac Newton's laws of motion. So there's 3 of them. So the first one says the first law of motion, states that an object will remain at rest until a force is placed on it. So what that means is if you put the cotton ball on the inside, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to launch itself. I have to apply some type of force to it. So that rolls us over to the second law that says the snowball will accelerate or move when a force is placed on it. So when I pull this and I let go, the balloon kind of is pushing back inside, and that force from the balloon is making this launch, which also goes along with the third law of motion that says for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So what that means is, depending on how hard I pull the balloon out, that same force, so if I use a number just to make a comparison, if I pull this out, if we were on a scale of 1 to 10, if I pull this to a 5, okay, and I let it go, the force of 5 is going to be put on my cotton ball and it's going to come out as a 5. If I pull this even further, that's going to maybe now be a force of 8. So when I let it go, a force of 8 is going to be pushed onto my snowball and it will launch with a force of 8. if I pull it out as far as I possibly can and let go, and let's just say now I'm at a force of 10, when I let go, that force is also going to be a 10, pushing on my snowball and launching it out. So however much force I pull, the opposite force is going to be exactly the same, launching out your snowball or my cotton ball in this sense. So some careers and some jobs that might be using these laws of motion, if you like space, a lot of kids like to learn about astronauts and space shuttles and planets and things like that. An aerospace engineer, they need to design missiles and satellites and aircrafts, and they have to use these laws of motion to figure out how they're going to keep all these things in orbit. How fast can they go? How much force, how much acceleration do they need to have with fuel, and how much power does it take to keep a satellite or a space shuttle up in orbit for the amount of time that it needs to be. So these laws of motion come into effect with a lot of different things with space, different engineering, even medicine has things that pertain to the laws of motion. Lots of different researchers with natural science, and a lot of environmentalists also have to use these laws of motion in their careers as well. So enjoy launching your snowballs, whatever they may be. Maybe they're real. This one seems pretty sturdy. I probably could launch a nice good snowball in there. So enjoy it, compare different items, let your teachers know what worked best, and definitely let them know if you get to try a snowball, because I definitely think this actually might launch a snowball. So have fun with this one.